Hey guys, JR here once again. Hey, we're continuing on the cancer sucks sort of thing. Every day I find a different location, and the locations are sometimes based on basically what I've chatted with my clients about the other day. Okay, so if you haven't checked out any of the other videos, make sure you check them out on my YouTube channel, James Castelli, also on Facebook with James Castelli and the Out of the Box podcast. Now, the whole reason behind doing this is because so many people have been touched by cancer that, you know, I think the live experience of following somebody on their journey of self-discovery, even in their final days, it's really important to share. I've got friends that have 4 family members going through cancer at the same time, mothers, fathers, children. Like, it wears on a guy, wears on a person. That said, what can we do to make a difference? Yep, cancer sucks. What can we do to make a difference? Well, for one thing, we can bring in the positivity. Now, kind of an interesting thing. Yesterday it was sunny and warm, and then today, well, I got the old Canadian Cobra chicken in the background. Don't know if you can see him right over there. Kind of checking. There he is, right there. Kind of checking things out. I got to keep my eye on him and keep my eye on you guys at the same time because, you know, they get a little defensive this time of year. But that said, let's get back to it. Posted a video yesterday about positivity and how my client basically, when that client is up, when that client is surrounded by positive things, whether it's a favorite TV show, comedy special, something like that, golf, sports, they're much better at managing their pain. Now, I've shared with them a number of pain management techniques. I'll be mentioning more about them in the very near future. But right now, what I want to share with you is that aspect of positivity. Now, you know, if you look at this, compared to the weather that we've had, you know, a person can really get down on it. But the fact of the matter is that you don't have to. There's still blue in the sky. Up above the clouds, the sun is shining. And of course, we have a cool day today. Next couple of days will be cooler. But what's going to happen is we're still going to see the leaves come out on the trees. My tulips are up. That's all going pretty good. And of course, you know, a person can't help but just feel good with regards to that. Now, that said, talk about going from the shade into the light, you know, what can we expect from this journey? Well, we know it's going to be tough. We know it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to basically follow in that positivity. But I think what we can do is, as we move forward, is we can do best to help the people out. Well, how do we do that? Well, first and foremost, let me tell you this. There is more right with you than wrong. If you're breathing and you're able to talk with people, get up and walk around, and even as you're sitting in the chair and you've got terminal stage 4 cancer, there still is more right with you than wrong. Okay? You're breathing. Yes, you have pain. At the same time, there's still more right with you than wrong. You need to keep that in mind. You need to keep the light going. You need to be able to face, you know, into the light and basically keep that positivity. Now, it sounds really simple, and I've got to tell you, as somebody who suffers from depression, part of bipolar, and you get the mania that goes along with it too, which is always fun for me, but not for the people around me. You have to be able to work through it. You have to be able to do things that will help you to be more and more on the positive side. Because what we find right now is we get stuck within ourselves. Like, you have stage 4 cancer, you have chronic pain, you have anything that debilitating that has chronic pain. Well, here's the problem with that is it's hard to get out of bed. And when you're in bed, you ruminate. What do you ruminate on? Pain. If you can't find a way to distract yourself, then what ends up happening? You end up developing that pain body, and pain is the only thing that you seem to see around you or feel around you. You got to break that chain. Now, when you can't do it yourself, rely on the other people to do it for you, or to help you, not do it for you, but help you with it. So for example, my role, and I mentioned this before, in working with my cancer survivors and cancer clients who may not make it out of the end of this year, or maybe they'll go 2 years. I'm on the journey with them. I made that commitment to them, and I've got their permission generically to share this along the way. So what do? We boost them up. We give them insight and inspiration, because you know what? Nobody wants a pity party. And I've talked to a lot of people who, you know, they have those close family members that are going through it. They don't want the pity party at all. They want people around them that can make them smile. They want people around them that can make them happy. They want Maybe they want some geese in the background honking away at them. You never know. But it's the little things, you know, when you can get out and you can enjoy nature. And yeah, you know, Canada geese, you got to really be careful with them because they're very territorial. So, you know, you don't want to get it too close to them. But that said, you could be that shining light for those people who have that, that condition. How do you do that? Let me share something simple with you. Before you go to meet with that person, build yourself up. Do whatever you can. Think of the positive things in life. Focus on something, for example, in your life that is so magically positive. Maybe it was the birth of your first child. Maybe it was your wedding. Maybe it was that game you won. Maybe it was just that spectacular moment, that first love, love's first kiss, something along those lines. Whatever that was, our minds can recapture that, okay? Because we can recapture that, that means that you can do so much more to help yourself and to help other people. Now, it can be hard. I get that. Man, I've been there. I've been in bed 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day because of what my brain wonderfully does for me. And that said, you start listening to things and doing things that make you smile and make you happy, right? It's a slow process. It's not a perfect process. And I tell you what, reaching out and connecting with people, that's a big deal. The current client I have right now definitely reached out and connected with me, has known me for a very long time. And I looked at that and I know it's hard when I get going on people's journeys like this. It's hard because you know that, well, your goal is to help make the quality of life better. You're going to be there right to the end, however long that takes. And that's tough. At the same time, why do you have the skills that you have as human beings? Why do we have the ability to make other people smile enough? Why do we have that ability? Why do I have the skills that I have? If I can't help people with that, especially from the perspective that I come from, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, that said, on the journey of self-discovery, you're building yourself up, you're drawing upon amazing experiences in your life, and you're bringing in that happy vibration. So you bring in that happy vibration, and now you're able to share that. Think of how cool this would be. And those guys are just getting frisky in the background there. I tell you what, it is great to see, though. It is absolutely amazing to see. So you build yourself up because you have the power to do that. Think of happy events in your life. And by the way, when you get really focused, you know, you probably know this, but your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what is real and what is not. That's the way hypnosis works. You access the dream mind. You've all had those dreams where you're falling or you're running, trying to get away, and you feel actual fear because of it. Well, that's your subconscious mind not knowing the difference between what is real and what is not. So when we focus on something, when we focus really, really well, I'm going to say, on something to the point where it causes us to change how we feel, that is the beginning. Now, that works both on the negative side and the positive side of things. So if you really want to be able to get out and make a difference in somebody's life, start doing that. Bring in the positive energy. Draw upon experiences in your life that bring you that energy. And it can be a really cool thing. So one thing to keep in mind is that once realizing you have the power to do that, it's just a matter of just keep moving forward with it so that you can be there for that person. Now, once again, like I said before, nobody wants negative people in their life. Nobody wants the pity party. Nobody really wants to have to listen to you feel sorry for them. And you know, if that person does in a rare occasion, then, you know, help them out, because essentially, if that's all they see around them, you need to get in between the way of that, because I'll tell you this much, when we're down, when we're in that low vibration, that's when the emotional and the physical pain becomes the worst. So talking about my client, and that client went through a couple of nights where they had to go to their fentanyl to actually manage the pain, and they didn't want to have to do that. That's why they're doing the work with me. It was just one of those things where their energy was down and they just couldn't muster up the focus, because the pain got ahead of them first. They couldn't muster up the focus to actually manage that. Well, oddly enough, a couple of days later, it's like the sun was shining in the world, and their energy was lightened, and all of a sudden they got the opportunity to get in front of it. They did some fun things, and with those fun things comes the energy, right? So you need to keep that in mind when you move forward. You want to be there for those people that you really care about, is that energy. And by the way, when I look at people like that, when I work with people like that, I think it's really cool in the sense that they, the change that they make, the change that they have the power to do. And it's one thing that's different, I find, with some of the clients that I have, is that the positivity that they have and the self-acceptance they have. I mean, can you imagine how strong you need to be to know that, you know, you may pass in the next couple of weeks, months, whatever, and you're on this journey with your family, and your sole goal is to make that remaining time as good as it can possibly be, managing pain, being able to move around, have the energy to get up and do different things, get out on a Friday night, go for dinner, simple things like that that we take for granted, right? So the quality of life comes down to energy. Man, I mean, if you can go out smiling and laughing all the way right to your, you know, your bedside when it's time to transition, not only is that good for you, that's good for the people around you. I remember when my dad passed of cancer, so going almost 10 years back now, and he had struggled with it for about 8 months, and then finally I got the better of him, going through chemo and the radiation treatment and everything like that. He just got worn down. I remember just how positive he was, and being at the celebration of life and being able to get up there and speak to what he had gone through, and the fact that everyone said, you know, he had been so positive, and that's what I found. And I remember talking to him about he had this beautiful white convertible Mustang, and he loved to drive, he loved to ride his bike, he loved his sleds in the wintertime. And he was a little upset one day, and I was talking to him, and I said, okay, come on, really, what's the problem? I mean, the big thing here is that you're not able to enjoy driving or riding in the Mustang. And he's like, yeah. And I said, you know what, Dad, that's amazing. I mean, really, that breaks it right down. So you can still, if that's the worst thing that's happening, man, life is good. It wasn't focused on anything else. It was just like, man, I can't get into my car anymore. That's a real perspective shift. Now, I don't know where you're at with it, but to me, that told me that he wasn't focused on passing away. He wasn't focused on feeling sorry for them. He was focused on living and looking at what he possibly could do. So you can't get in your, you can't get in your car because of the way things are. Well, you can sit on the front porch. You look at the car. You can watch it drive around. Somebody drive around it for you. I don't know. It's whatever makes you feel good. Now, at the end of the day, I kind of look at it, and you might be saying, well, geez, that's kind of picking on the minute things. Well, here was his thing. He enjoyed life. He was a hunter. He was a motorcyclist. He enjoyed life to the max. Had a nice cabin, liked to go fishing, took my son fishing a couple of times. Of course, we live like halfway across the country. At the same time, though, he had this love, and he was always miraculously positive. And I remember the Christmas before he passed, he was at a community Christmas party, one of the groups he belonged to, and saw pictures of him sitting in his chair on the dance floor, big smile on his face, having an absolutely amazing time. And I looked at that and I thought to myself, when we do the celebration of life, and we were going to do it within the year, and I knew that simply because of kind of where he was with his cancer. It metastasized. There was nothing they could do about it. He was comfortable, though. His positivity meant that his pain was really well managed. I mean, can you imagine putting a smile on your face, being happy, and allowing that positive distraction to take your pain away? Well, when we got down to the celebration of life, it was so amazing to see how so many people had kept in touch with him and the positivity that they had. And I look at that, and that's a great lesson. Especially with the one client, the other clients I've had too, they've always been very accepting, and they've always been very positive. Even though, like, in one particular case, I was completely caught off guard by the passing of one of my clients. We had done work for about 1.5 years, and then I found out that they had suddenly passed away. The cancer had come back and metastasized, and that was it, sadly enough. But I should say and it's that positivity. It's really, you got to find a way. If you have people around you that are down, that are suffering through this, and I realize the tone of this has just kind of changed a little bit, find a way to make them smile. Get online, learn some bad dad jokes, learn some sitcoms, some skits from, Whose Line Is It Anyway? Make them smile. You may get out there and you may feel like a bit of an idiot doing it, but at the same time, you put a smile on somebody's face, man, there's no drug that can compete with that true, honest happiness. So what do we know about this happiness? Well, we know that when people get depressed and they're down, they have the power to bring other people down. It's that power of suggestion. When people are up and they're around people who are down, you can do your best to bring them up. And if they choose not to go up with you, that's on them. You did your bit. You were amazing. You are amazing. So bringing positivity never harmed anyone in any way, shape, or form. Think about it. How amazing is life when you can feel so positive about the things that are happening, and you can have a laugh, and you can share that with people, and you can basically take those people to the next level. I mean, that's pretty amazing stuff, right? So, lesson for today, and I talked about it briefly yesterday, we get it more into it today. You want to be more positive? Draw upon positive memories. Take a moment in the morning or in the afternoon. If you're going to go see that person who really needs, you're going to go to the hospital, you need to bring as much positive energy as possible. Draw upon something from the past, a memory of some kind. Draw upon that so that when you go in there, it's like you've got a light shining. It's like you are the beacon of happiness for that person. Be positive. Draw upon that memory. You start off basic, but then as you draw upon it, make the colors, the sounds, the sights, make them brighter, make them more vivid, make them what you need them to be. Because I tell you what, whenever we think of positive memories, we can't help but put a smile on our face. Even lightly focused on it, you still feel great. It's the birth of your children, that first love, love's first kiss I mentioned before. All of these things can help you. All of these things can help them. So with my client, basically what I said was, take a moment, watch some fun stuff, because we know now there's direct correlation, and with everybody. In this particular case, though, the direct correlation meant not taking drugs, meant not taking the fentanyl patches, which is amazing. Now, they're there if that person needs them, and the whole point behind the therapy that we're doing together was to get away from having to use it, because you have fentanyl and Dilatin and all these different drugs and oxycodone. Well, they have an effect on you. And let me tell you, what's worse, pain or not being able to go to the bathroom and having that kind of pain? Well, kind of a toss-up. I think being able to function on every side of it's always kind of a good thing. So anytime you can manage that pain, anytime you can take a day off, without, of course, going into withdrawal and things like that. Never recommend to go completely off meds like that, because it can be harmful. But I tell you what, anytime you can cut down slowly, anytime that you can skip that huge dose so that you can use your mind to make you feel better, you can use your mind to help manage that pain, that discomfort, that's a good day. That is a really good day. Now, in the coming weeks, I've been connected with people, and I mentioned this before, this podcast will include other people sharing experiences, and sharing those experiences from a perspective of being a survivor, being a caregiver, as well as self-image. How do you fit into it? As a caregiver, how do you see yourself? What are the risks? You can have empathy burnout, compassion burnout, all of these things can wear you down. There's lots of things you can do. That positivity, drawing upon memories, that's one. I want you to think about that right now. Sun's going to shine a little bit. Think about how you can draw upon those memories and you can make something special happen. It's a cool thing. We all have the power to do it. We can do it better. We can make fun things happen. Now, as we move forward and as I talk with those people, if you've got stories to share, I welcome the opportunity to connect with you and share them. We can do it over Zoom. We can do it in person, depending on where we are. We can do it over the phone, okay? Let's share some stories. Let's inspire some people. And let's get out and make a difference. Now, if you're curious about other videos, they're generally around 20 minutes long. The shorter ones are less than 3. Go to my Out of the Box podcast page on Facebook, connected with my James Castelli profile. You can also go on my YouTube channel if you're watching it here as James Castelli on YouTube, and like and subscribe. Okay, let's grow this community. Let's make a difference. We have the power to do that. All right, you guys, have an amazing day. We'll catch up soon. Bye for now.